Hi, I'm Ericka, and I'm going to show you how Strategic Plan Now is an operational framework that can help you build your business roadmap. In this process of Strategic Plan Now, we're going to look at see it, plan it, do it. So some assessments, let's figure out what's going on, current state, move it into making a plan, and then actually executing against it. So what is that action plan? Strategic Plan Now is an administrative operations framework. As I said, it's phase 1 is see it, phase 2 is plan it, phase 3 is do it. In phase 1, going over some foundational work of mission, vision, core values, strategic objectives. Then moving into phase 2, after we have that solid foundation, we can start to create action plans, tactics, metrics around that. And then finally, we're going to have a accountability framework for how are we meeting those objectives? How are you delegating confidently to your team? And how do you communicate and stay making progress towards these actions? Strategic Plan Now works for startups. It works for scaling businesses, growing. Maybe they've plateaued or they're looking for a system to run more efficiently. And it also works for exit planning, people who are preparing their business for sale, as well as transitions. The roadmap for Strategic Plan Now overview are these 4 essential elements of a mission. That's your starting point. That's your why. Why are you in business? What are you doing? Why are we going on this journey? The vision is the destination. What's the ultimate goal and where are you headed and how will you know that you've gotten there? The core values, those are guideposts of how you're going to navigate the journey, and the strategic objectives are checkpoints in knowing that you're on the right path and you're navigating according to the rules of the road. So in Strategic Plan Now, I use a car analogy where your business is a car on a journey, and you think about you wouldn't embark on a journey without a clear roadmap. So why would you take your business through phases of growth without having a clear plan? You're going to get stalled and hit roadblocks. I incorporate worksheets and assessments into the process so that it makes it less cumbersome or daunting to go through. So you can start with a worksheet and put some of your ideas down on paper. There's something about writing down the ideas and then translating it into the assessment that then we start to evaluate. Ultimately, once you go through the initial phases of the strategic planning process, the outcome is going to be what I call a one-pager, which technically it's 2 pages. It's front and back, 8.5 by 11. It's going to really summarize your mission, your vision, your core values. You might have a purpose statement, a little bit about your team, and this can look different depending on your business, but this really becomes a tool for communicating with both internal and external audiences about who your business is, what you stand for. It's a great resource for recruitment, sending out to candidates to see if they align with the culture that you have within the business. And this is quite a process to go through in terms of ensuring that you get key stakeholder input through this. And I created a 90-day sprint for this first phase of the mission, vision, core values, strategic objectives. As I just mentioned, this document, once you have it, it can be used as a document that allows for cultural alignment within the organization. It can help with brand reputation and strategic decision making. To build your business roadmap, the strategize phase 1 90-day sprint, there'll be a kickoff where we do some assessments and start to look at what is the current state of the business, where do we want it to head, that vision, and then we work through each of these pieces in detail, making sure that key stakeholders' input is incorporated and the customer or client is considered in these as well. So we'll craft a mission statement. In crafting a mission statement, this is just one example of how we start to drill down on each of these areas. So it's not just going and creating one, although I leverage AI heavily in the process. It's not just creating something, it's using it as a jumping off point to refine. And that's where the human part of the business really comes into it. And to have the most success, you need to have that understanding and expertise of what the business is. So going through the mission statement, phase 1, this is an example of an exercise we might go through. So we'll take your mission statement either as it is, or if you don't have one, we'll start to craft one, and we'll make sure that it addresses purpose, the why, activity, the what, beneficiaries, the who, and the impact, the result. In the process of developing a mission statement, there's different components that we'll look at too that are different than the mission statement. So for the vision statement, we want to make sure it has some sort of aspirational feature where you're leading to a 3 to 5 year end goal or beyond. And then it should be specific and clear. It should align with your values. It should be inspirational and motivational and achievable. How will you know when you got there? When you're establishing your core values, there's 4 key components that I look at. You want to make sure that you're identifying the right core values that truly reflect the principles of the business, and that can't be done in a silo or in a vacuum with just leadership. You really need to make sure you're engaging your team in the process so that you can ensure that alignment. So you also want to make sure not only that it aligns with the people, but with your mission and that vision. So it becomes an iterative process of reviewing mission, vision, core values, and we keep iterating until we get to the right fit for the business. And then we want to make sure that each core value is clearly defined and what that word means to each person, because you can say a word like collaboration, and in a different industry or different business and different environment, it's going to mean different things to different people. So having that clarity of alignment of what that statement means, that word, is going to be really important for your team. And then the most important part, once you get all this, you put all the effort into clarifying your core values, you got to figure out how are you going to integrate this into your day-to-day? How is this truly going to impact the culture of the organization? And I help you with that. The final piece of that first 90-day sprint to clarify mission, vision, core values, strategic objectives, what I call the strategic plan overview, would be strategic objectives. And that's where you start to align 3 to 5 key overarching objectives that are true to the business over the longevity of the vision that everybody in the organization is working towards. They have to align to the mission and vision. You have to be able to prioritize them, and it really breaks them down then from those 3 to 5. Then you can build actionable plans within key areas within the business to really drive the results. How it works. I have been developing strategic plan now over decades of learning, and I'm a continuous improvement type of person. Here's just a few of the books that influence my methodology and how I have come to the strategic plan now process. So I've used both expert-backed methodology, looking at diverse application of these things, and then also just my work in industry and with different businesses. I'm a highly analytical person, but I'm also creative. So I really love coming up with creative solutions and connecting people to ideas. And these are just some of the books that have helped informed my methods. So about me, why should you work with me on this? How am I qualified to help you with your strategic plan? Well, my strengths from StrengthsFinder would be woo, relator, communication, futuristic, and responsibility. And that futuristic I really find is something that I can help business owners that maybe have gotten stuck to where they're at and aren't seeing and maybe pulling things from different industries that help you to look at things in a different way. And then being able to communicate and relate to other people and create those connections between people. And then being a woo girl just really helps to align the team and create that excitement about the plans that helps these businesses adopt them sooner, faster, and easier. Expert level insights. I've been working over 20 years with different top leaders in various industries. I have witnessed how executives think, and I've been taking notes, and I've pulled that together in Strategic Plan Now. I've worked across several industries. I have an analytical mindset, these proven methodologies based on sound framework structures, books, expertise from all the sources I mentioned before. I've tried to really simplify the process using the car analogy. Your business is like a car on a road trip. Your mission's the why, the vision's where you're headed, and all the things in between are going to get you there faster, including who's in the car with you. I like to consider myself your guide. I'm your GPS along that journey. I'm going to help you avoid roadblocks and get where you want to go on a smoother road and not get lost or have to turn back and start back over again. I'm a trusted advisor and implementer. I really get to understand the business owner and the team so that I can help bridge any gaps or communication that needs to happen. And the Strategic Plan Now framework is really allows me to be a builder of business roadmaps. I've done this with so many companies that I am able to go through the process a lot faster than if you were working through it on your own. Who are the key players in this process? We're gonna have the driver, that's the visionary, the decision maker, the CEO, the business owner, the boss. This could be a CEO, it could be the president of the organization, it could be the chair of a board. This could even be the vice president of a division if a division wanted to implement this. I think if a division implemented this though, the rest of the business is going to follow behind because it's so efficient and effective in getting results. Typically, I'm working with a business at the highest level, being that key guide to an advisor to that driver. So business owner is the driver, the visionary. Then you get a person like me, an implementer. Now, whether it's me or other COO, you may be your practice manager, chief of staff, a board liaison if it's a nonprofit, or a board of directors. That implementer is going to be the operations person that is executing. They ensure everything goes smoothly and is executed efficiently, and there's given structure and operational frameworks for doing things faster. So characteristics of an implementer: they're going to be detail-oriented, structured, disciplined. They're going to manage teams, processes, operational accountability. They're going to connect and align team efforts with the company's vision. As a fractional, I can serve in that implementer role, but I also, as an advisor, will serve in that GPS, guiding the implementer, the visionary, if you have those people within your organization already. And I'm really going to help to create clarity. And that's where, as your guide and the roadmap, I'm going to be your trusted advisor. I'm going to give you proven systems and frameworks. I'm going to guide you through a tailored process unique to your needs to build it towards what you need in your industry. And we're going to deliver objectives outside. I'm going to give you an outside perspective so that you're not just stuck. They often say it's hard to read the label from the inside. So I'm going to help you read that label and get you working through all these key initiatives that you want to faster. And I act as an accountability partner. It's amazing to me how often I come into an organization and just having a set meeting cadence, routine, knowing what we're meeting on, and implementing that structure for businesses. Strategic Plan Now is an operational framework for businesses. It is a rinse and repeat system that, once established, your business can work through and go back to year after year, quarter after quarter, month after month. It's going to give you so much more structure in how you run your business, how your leaders report out to you consistently, and how they're able to create a band of your key managers and leaders where they aren't just thinking about integrating from the top down, but really seeing their leadership team as a team in which you're able to pull levers and be able to be more reactive and capitalize on opportunities because we have visibility and we understand how it all works together.